Hi, everybody. I'm Trey Smith, and you're watching Trey's Myths and Tunes. And Trey's timeless 15 minutes it could explain. And me on YouTube. Today, my discussion came from a little intuitive thought I had as the Master Yeshua. We spiritual teachers like to use analogies. Of course, I bring him up because he was the greatest teacher with the usage of analogies. So this is the analogy. Mind programs. Replace your TV with a laptop. You keep on playing those mind games. It's not clever. Trading your future for a flunked out past. Every time you obey your fake ass masters in those mind games together, you're flunking the ascension every time you fall down again. But love is the power. Respectful oneness, present love is the only power there can be. But you don't believe me. You keep on playing those mind games. Those narcissistic predator entities were never clever, 'cause they got no self-respect. Just a bunch of mind control and soul neglect. But y'all know it's obvious. Love is the answer. Mind programs. Replace your TV with a laptop, like me. I haven't watched TV in years and I don't miss it at all. I wonder why. Well, you see, with the invention of the TV, which in the time in the historical linear time frame came, of course, some time after Tesla and Edison were on the scene. And so those who wrote the history books, those who created the compulsory for school system, of course, wanted people to think Edison invented electricity, and because Edison was the man that was working with these same dark powers to create what we now have, a system of locked control grid utilities corporations. Okay, so of course, in the long-term program, the long-term game of the negative aliens and their human reptilian hybrid, so-called elite, I call them elite families behind the mainstream media, who have controlled the linear progression of the obedience, the so-called lemmings of human race. Okay, the human cyborg slave creation, of course, began with wars, religions, the idea of kingship, reptilian hierarchy, the brotherhood of the snake. And perhaps with the invention of the TV set, we had the most overt, open mind control device ever for the masses, at least till we got cell phones. So then roughly after the turn of the century, we had the forced usage of microwave cell phones with no warnings of the cancerous nature of these and addictive nature of these things. And they ripped out the payphones most everywhere. Fortunately, Santa Cruz bus station and the San Jose Deridian bus station are the only two places I know on the planet that still have them, and I got a calling card, so I use them. And of course, now in the 2020, we had the attempted forced nanobot blood clot colony shots for everyone on the planet who would be willing to to take the experiment, the grand mad scientist, mass psychotic ritual death, black magic experiment. But of course, TV programs were the number one historical mind control method we could see that's really obvious. The like horror movies, for example. Now we have the Republicrats and the Demicans and their Hegelian war for money. Okay, so we know that the Dark Ones have funded both sides of all wars, or rather the Khazarian Mafia family lines who created Hollywood, funded both sides of both wars for the last several hundred years, both Republicans and Democrats, and the Hegelian logic behind the wars, and funded, for example, the NAACP, the Black Panther Party, and the white supremacy movement. They always want to put money into both sides. So we have George Soros supposedly paying for these people to use these drones to start fires, and Bill Gates and Lockheed Martin putting money into this insane, create this atmospheric river. So, as Bartz has said, perhaps it is true that the big boys' eyes at the top of the pyramid are duking it out, like still, according to some, Lisa Renee, that the year 2000, the Belial Sons and the Black Suns agreed to take over the planet, that they would have to agree on the measures, whereas on this occasion it appears that I want to say thanks to Bill Gates and Lockheed Martin for helping us have a year off what I call arsonist season. I really don't like that this beautiful, sexy, physically sexy, and with food and cannabis sexy state of California as an arsonist season. So thank you guys. I'm happy that you've helped us to not have a stupid arsonist season again. So, as I said before, I believe it's pretty blatantly obvious that the Khazarian Mafia, or the 1% as they're called, created Hollywood, purchased the Synagogue of Satan, purchased the FCC during the creation of Hollywood sometime in there. They bribed them or said, well, let us run it. Just like people who have run the FDA were working for the big pharma companies, revolving door between these two, a figure eight of infinity spiral between the 1% dark families and corporate heads, CEOs, and government. And this is the way the USA has to be, especially since the allowance of the Fed and the CIA and MJ-12. No, I disagree. This is where we say, get real. I'm sorry, but this is not weather, and we don't deserve any more of these attacks. It's caused enough damage, okay? I know you announced you're going to do this today, so how about not announce any more days like this and not do it anymore, okay? Your violence is overt, it's obvious, and we know about it. And you're blatant, talking out both sides of your mouth like Donald Trump, as I said in previous videos. Okay, some people in the CIA or whistleblowers who used to work for the CIA have said that in the CIA they call Hollywood their propaganda arm. They consider it an arm of the military, basically. The hundreds of, and this is why like I say, my theory is that the creators of the Matrix, both those brothers, had the sex change operation after making millions of dollars, showing the world basically how they're being milked. That was, the terrible ultimatum they were given. This is probably what happened. The hundreds of networks that we used to have the year I was born are down to, as Dan Willis pointed out, down to 6 different companies, which are all these, these guys in the club, as George Carlin said, the club you're not in. In TV, your perception will be only what your negative alien handlers want you to think and feel, which is slavery, fear, narcissism, or depression. Concern led to Obama legalizing mind control propaganda in 2008, I believe. He made it legal to use mind control in advertisements or government to basically to lie or to say whatever they want to sell the product. Common knowledge, it is the open, overt mainstreaming of Satanism, moral relative, as also with moral relativism and solipsism, which they promote. Morals in TV shows from the 60s and 70s, such as the Andy Griffith Show or Taxi or Cheers, which made those shows endearing and beautiful in a way, have been gradually reduced until there's no morality in any television, especially the news, which is pure propaganda overtly now. So now there's no morality programmed in. Your job is to reprogram your mind to harmlessness and self-respect. It's really hard to do that if you still watch this crap. Because when you do, it's going to make you feel sick, fearful, or homicidal. Or, you have to learn to respect your blueprint. Or you'll see that the more you tune into your feelings, you'll notice that mainstream television all makes you feel sick, fearful, or homicidal, suicidal, narcissistic, or depressed, or a control freak. And that's how it was designed, because that's the way they feel. It's quite sad. Zombies. This is the result of being addicted to the television and cell phone addiction. Programming Armageddon software is what Lisa Renee calls it. In 2020, ever since 2020, the people who are addicted to television, look at what they do. They won't take off their mask in public. I mean, it's really bad. With internet, you can choose the programs. With YouTube, you have disclosure, yet it's somewhat still censored, yet far less. We have what the CIA calls a limited hangout. So you're allowed to know some things, but it's increasing more daily. Like I say in previous video broadcasts, some of these popular shows on YouTube not having to fly the bullshit waivers at the bottom now. So because USA, California, we have Sagittarius rising in the chart, the arrows are pointing to the truth, relearning freedom, healing techniques, and having access to real factual information. Those are some of the keys, to healing. Your moon sign is 100% fake. Something I've learned from the internet or YouTube, because there is no moon. This is not a real moon. This was dragged in here as part of the reincarnation death trap with the Saturn cube, hexagram, reincarnation, and demiurge system. As I've said before, we have no organic moon. Supposedly there was 2 moons here before the wars. They blew them up. Now with internet capitalism, what exactly are they selling, and has it been infiltrated? Okay, this is an important key to think about when you're learning for free, like on my channel. Things are given for free, and donate some money to my mother on her credit card if you feel like you want to, and you have some extra money, and click subscribe, and make sure you click the notification bell for more, because subscribe won't really do anything except give me another number in the numbers game. So because I'm shadow banned, so you have to discern what they're selling, and you have to always look at how Bill Gates and the Rothschilds, Bill Gates 2010 TED Talk, their inverted belief in Illuminati Saturnism is, and the Rothschilds is just like mainstream media. It's just like Gargamel and the old Smurfs cartoons. It's so sad. They don't have any connection to Christ, and they know that they're inferior to the heart, so they always give you clues. They always give you a warning or a clue as to what they're going to do, because nobody really wants to kill or hurt anyone else or cause that much harm karmically to themselves, basically, deep down, subconsciously, or else it would be suicidal. No one's really suicidal subconsciously. because there's a tiny inflection of the original Christos and all, even the reptilians. Give thanks and create a great one if you got the courage, my family.